We are now beginning to confirm this break of that trend line that goes all the way back to November. Here's what you need to know before the bell this morning. Let's go back to last year. As the markets were rallying, we had the AI chase that was going on. Everything was fantastic with AI. The world was fantastic. The Fed was going to cut rates. And the market was running right along the 20-day moving average and running right along this trend channel that the market was in. And then, we started talking about June, July. It took about 2 months, right? We were talking about the fact that, we were going to have a 5 to 10% correction. Well, we eventually got that, but importantly, what happened with the market is we began to see this market kind of make this kind of rounding top-ish, right? So that was that kind of depletion of momentum that was happening underneath the surface. And so as the market eventually kind of ran out of steam, then you had this correction that ultimately lasted all the way into October. So you had that 10% correction last summer. Well, this has been the same story now that we've been talking about for the last several months. We've had this very defined trend right along the 20-day moving average. It's been just doing exactly, every time we came down the 20-day, we rallied from it. It was easy. You bought the 20-day. But over the last few weeks, we've talked about this, we're now building that kind of rounded top once again in the market. So as this market continues, let me do a little bit better job of that. So as the market kind of continues to lose momentum here, we're starting to kind of build this rounded top in the markets. And then yesterday, we again, not only we took out the 20-day moving average, which has been the real support of that trend really ever since November, but we're now sitting on the lows from Thursday. So as we talked about previously, is like last Thursday, we broke that 20-day moving average and we said, okay, you don't do anything just yet. We broke the support line, but let's see what happens because this will help reduce that kind of whipsaw effect. The market got back above that 20-day moving average the very next day and stayed there for 3 days. And so it kind of looked a little bit in the short term like the market was going to be okay. But as we noted, we said that when we get to this point that we want to see a confirmation in the markets, we would see a break of the 20-day and we would take out that low from last Thursday. If the markets which right now the markets are slated open lower this morning. So we are theoretically this morning going to take out that low from Thursday. So we are now beginning to confirm this break of that trend line that goes all the way back to November and has been the key support for this market this whole run. So we are now getting that first piece of evidence that we are now taking out that support. Now, what will be important is not today. If we close lower than this 20-day moving average, so if we close lower than last Thursday's low today, that's fine. We need to see where the market closes tomorrow. If we have a huge rally on Friday for some reason and we get back up to the 20-day moving average, this is all going to negate. So again, we're putting all the pieces in place. We have a break of the 20-day, a retest of the 20-day that failed, and if we take out and confirm the break of these lows from last Thursday, we will now have a confirmed break of that trend. Then at that point, starting on Monday, we can begin to reduce allocation risk in portfolios. So again, we just got to kind of see what's going to happen over the next day or so, but this is where we're going to be very close. We're sitting very close to the 50-day moving average, which is going to be key initial support. So again, we could see the market come down today, bounce off the 50-day, rally back up, kind of start reversing some of this. We'll see. Markets are getting a little bit oversold here, not a lot, but oversold enough for a bit of a bounce. So again, we got to be a little bit cautious how we walk into this, but we are getting that indication that we have now kind of broken that bullish momentum that goes back to really the beginning of this rally in November. So that's what you need to know before the bell this morning.